Morning all, hope you're well. Today we're going to go down the River Stort from Tednambury Lock to Feakes Lock. It's a bit breezy this morning, and as I'm going into Tednambury Lock, the side wind's catching me and pushing me over to the left. Well, that's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. In all honesty, it is awkward to handle one of these when you've got a side wind pushing you sideways. If you ask some boaters out there, some other narrowboaters, hopefully they'll tell you the same. You wouldn't think that a little bit of wind would be able to push a 15-ton narrowboat around so easily. But it does. Them black clouds that I'm heading into don't look too promising. We've just had 2 weeks of wind and rain, and it's not been ideal boating weather. But if you can believe the forecasts, we should be having some decent weather from now on for a little while. But I won't hold my breath. I'm going to squeeze over here to the right, give this other boat a bit of room. This is the first boat that I've passed going the other way since Bishop Stortford. I've been really looking forward to cruising along this stretch of river, because I know what's coming up. If the sun breaks through these clouds, we'll be in for a treat. This railway bridge coming up is a really low one. So I'm wondering if we're going to have the same old camera problems again, but we'll see. I chickened out that time. I'd have definitely lost the camera. All these boats and boat activity over there on the right is Kex's boat yard. Little bit of a tight squeeze. If you look up on the towpath on the left, there's an escapee. He's peeping at me from behind the bushes. It's alright, I'm not going to snitch on you. Can you imagine what you'd do if you was walking down the towpath and you come face to face with him? I know I wouldn't try and walk past him. If you look on the right hand side, you'll see some allotments. If you're watching from outside the UK, it's where you can rent a little plot of land grow vegetables or herbs, or even flowers if that's your thing. Apparently you have to wait a long time on a waiting list to get one of them plots. There's plenty of nice little mooring spots on the left there. I know when I've walked past here before it's packed. You couldn't get a mooring for love nor money. And it's one of the only places that I've seen on the River Stort that's got Armco that you can tie your boat to. Right, just round this bend is Sawbridgeworth Lock. The sun's just starting to break through and it's warming up a bit. And I'm starting to feel a bit overdressed, as it was quite nippy when I started the cruise. I think I'll get a bit daring and take my hat off. Some weed got caught in them gates when I was closing them and it's making it leak more than usual. That red wide beam on the left is an event boat. Does barbecues, birthdays, christenings, any event you can think of, I suppose. Good idea. There's a pretty old converted mill up there on the right. I don't know if it's a house or being used as office space. Perhaps someone out there can tell me. This bit opens out and looks pretty. That house over there's got its own mooring. Don't see any boat though. Perhaps they're out using it. There's some cheeky monkeys over here on the right hand side that looks like they've blagged an off towpath mooring. To the people new to boating, that means they're not getting moved on every couple of weeks. Got the right name. That would be no good to me because I want to keep moving. But we've all got different ideas about boating. It'd be boring if we was all the same. We're in the town of Sawbridgeworth now. Over here on the left is another area of permanent moorings. suppose they're not bad if you want access to the station and the town centre. It's quite a nice little town when you look around Sawbridgeworth. It's got some historical places, old churches, modern buildings. It's quite nice. Not a lot of shopping, but not bad. This little mooring area goes all the way around this backwater as well that's round the left here. Looks a bit tight. These old maltings have been converted into various different businesses. Then you've got these flats or apartments that they seem to be building up on riversides near every town. We've got a lock coming up soon. I think it's called Shering Mill Lock. If I can remember rightly, I think it gets really beautiful after this lock. But I'll let you be the judge of that. That's unusual for up here on the river. The previous boat shut the gates behind them. So I'll have to pull over here onto this lock landing and then set the lock up. I really struggled opening them lock gates. They didn't seem to be equalising properly. Just give H a little nudge. They're motorised hydraulic gates this end. I could have done with them the other end. All that pulling and pushing, I'm not as young as I used to be. Wonderful. There's a lovely looking house round here on the left in this inlet. Look at that. Some lucky people have got some lovely permanent moorings over here on the left. They've got their own little bits of garden and sitting areas. I would imagine that a lot of people that own these live in towns and cities, and they come out here for their weekends to their own little bit of heaven on earth. It is an idyllic little spot. Might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I love it. Like I've said before, I haven't experienced much of the rivers and canal systems of the country, but if they're anything like this, I'm going to enjoy it. I've only been doing this for 10 months, and 6 months of that I've been locked down. But what I've seen and experienced of it so far, it's lovely. Bring it on. Obviously I miss being able to see me family when I want to. I have to rely on them coming and visiting me. That's one of the downers of it. I know some boaters still keep a car, and they have to walk back and fetch the car every time they move the boat. A bit too much for a faff, I think, but everyone to their own. My daughter Claire's coming up to the boat tomorrow, and we've got bank holiday weekend, and on the Tuesday after that, I think it's going to be serious business. I'm going to be motoring every day, so to get through London, or down to London and then through it. So hopefully I'll have time to get some videos out, but that's the plan. I was halfway past this boat, and then I decided, looks like a good mooring there, we'll give it a go. So I'm going to reverse up and see if we can get alongside. Yep, it's a lovely spot. I'll introduce you to some of my new neighbours. These ones seem to like me, and I like them. But I think the other ones want to get rid of me. Every time I go out there, they say, "Move." See you next time.